Welcome to another Baltimore Ravens franchise. We're in year 4. Start of year 4. I forget. It's been a while. Been on the internet. Been off the internet.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
I believe last year was the Baltimore Ravens. Well, if you watch this episode, pretty chunk below won the Super Bowl last year. We're fighting towards a new one. Let's see. I like the Dutch. I like to train the buy backups. Brennan. You got Dwayne Haskins for some dummies or not. We were Brandon and tried to get Dwayne Haskins Jr. We weren't smoking a lot of dope that day. Brandon, because I want to see how good he can become, because he's a good halfback. Say, you got an all-star team. Jim Ross, I want the speedy receivers. Let's see. Jermon Sinclair, see on the ball. I just trained them to be good. There's no need, especially if they're going to be in the same position. They always are, so we'll keep this position right here. So we got a lot of work with the receiving core to do, because they're without me better than everybody's going to be like 95 and up. New ball. Mike Andrews. We'll get the offensive line the same. Brendan Bolden. I think they need training. And yes. Because it's not gonna be able to change anyone's mind. They have read up in their mind that's what happened, and that's what they're going to believe. And they know amount of name calling and shaking your fist is gonna get them to change their mind, because they have geeked in their sinful mind. That's what happened. And despite all witness testimony, This takes so long. I love to do this. This is what I do. You go. We start every year is adjust my drive. I usually do this before I start the season. So feel that we need to do something. Aaron Rodgers in the trade. That's a shame. Reload. To Javon Diggs. Marcos Stephens. Yeah, I'm surprised too. They should have did that. Should we get Aaron Rodgers? Is a giant. Well, they got me insulted. Is a giant. What the fuck is that? Reset on me. Yes, throw power. Go to start the season.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports.
We're across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, it's...
Let's see, the Giants.
So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And, partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, you know, it's preseason. This is week 1.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah, trading picks out. The Baltimore Ravens. Really didn't lose the first game of their season.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Tonight, from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL.
See and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Browns, it was a game that could have gone either way, but they get the touchdown in overtime to secure the Week 1 victory. And they will hit the road next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Today, from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's Week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL on this fine afternoon brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, after a crazy open... Charles, in this one, I think the storyline really, the fourth quarter, coming into it neck and neck, but they were able to separate, put their foot on the gas, and get the win.
And since you mentioned neck and neck, I'm going to stay with a little bit of a horse racing theme. It was that.
That was some trash can eating stuff. Don't worry. Lost 2 in a row. That's not good. Especially if we're trying to get to the Super Bowl.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the New York Giants taking on the Washington football team.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle.
We need at least one win between 8.
Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it.
something I gotta look at right quick. I'm still be recording that. You know, I'm going to nobody until the end of the Our next game is against the San Francisco 49ers. They seem to be sorry, but you never know.
Today, from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, it's Week 3 of the NFL on EA Sports. San Francisco 49ers taking on Aaron Rodgers and the New York.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Giants, it's back-to-back victory. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
We go win 3. We'll sub them out. Let's make the playoffs. yourself today.
Tonight, from Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on
seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And this one wasn't easy. You had an East Coast team, Charles, going west, playing a night game, but somehow they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, when you talk about playing a night game, they're closer to being sleepy because of East Coast time with their bodies when you're kicking off to play the game. So that's a real big accomplishment for them to get that done. Is traveling home in the old days, you had to wait to get the video.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Tonight, from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, it's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports.
We are 15 miles due west of the Atlantic, nestled in downtown Jacksonville. Football League, Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Ravens, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll return home next week to take on the LA Rams. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll try to turn it around next week for a matchup with the Falcons. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. From Jacksonville, good night, everybody.
Weekly on Thursdays exclusively on CBS All Access. Based on the 1978 Stephen King post-apocalyptic novel, The Stand is about a global pandemic in the form of a weaponized strain of influenza, aka the Captain Trips virus, that wipes out 99% of the entire world population. The few survivors, united in various groups, form new societies, including the Free Zone, a confederation based out of Boulder, Colorado, where survivors can live free, lawful lives. The Free Zone is led by Stu Redman, portrayed by James Marsden. Stu is a man immune to the virus who becomes a government guinea pig before he finally breaks free after nearly everyone around him, including government doctors, dies from the Captain Trips virus. These survivors are also drawn together by another force, Mother Abigail, portrayed by Whoopi Goldberg, a 108-year-old survivor who becomes a spiritual leader to the people of the Free Zone. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, the other survivors are drawn under the spell of the Man in Black, a.k.a. Randall Flagg, portrayed by Alexander Skarsgård. Set to an eerie, slowed-down rendition of Bob Marley's Three Little Birds, in the new trailer you can spot crucified individuals as Flagg can be seen on billboard monitors giving his gospel. The somewhat charismatic leader with incredible abilities organizes a fascist dictatorship around his visions. Executive producers Benjamin Cavill and Taylor Elmore explained in the panel that Skarsgård's rendition of the Wolf will be slightly updated to represent the present day. Also, as a side note, it looks like you can expect to see...
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
...trailer, the iconic cartoon Overlook Hotel in Shining. The rest of the cast rounds out with Odessa Young as Franny Goldsmith, a young pregnant woman who fears that her child will not be immune to the virus. Owen Teague, who has also appeared in past Stephen King adaptations, is Harold Lauder, Franny's shy and awkward neighbor who claims he wants to protect her, but may in fact have other plans to support her. Let's just say he gets a bit control. Which one to use, Larry? Watchmen's Javon Adepo stars as musician Larry Underwood, who has his first big hit after the pandemic ravages the world. Hedda Graham will play socialite Rita Blake, and Henry Zaga plays Andros with extraordinary sensitivity to nature. Amber Heard appears as Nadine Cross, who falls in with Flagg's hellish team, while Greg Kinnear portrays Glenn Bateman, a widow professor who helps the group in wake of Captain Trips' destruction. This miniseries will change the chronology of King's original story. The new series will begin after the pandemic has already wiped everyone out. The first episode will start with survivors in mask and protective gear nearing the dead in Boulder. From there, we'll meet the major characters in the story and will flash back to their lives pre-pandemic, jumping back and forth between life before and after.
Today, it's the National Football League. It's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills versus Aaron Rodgers and the New York Giants.
Autumn has come to upstate New York, and we find ourselves at Bill Stadium in Orchard Park. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Buffalo Bills. some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 5 of the NFL on EA Sports.
To see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime. And we got the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Giants, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now. And Dallas Cowboys.
Is Zach still open? Hola. Ahorra más con Unlimited Your Way. Elige el plan perfecto para cada miembro de la familia. Ahorra. Red. Ramón. I guess I can roll my R's.
With Unlimited Your Way, pick the best plan for everyone.
Boys. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they'll also move them back to 3-2 on the year. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
didn't sand down the impression. I hope as a newscaster or someone that's a member of the LGBT
I'm gonna try a little heat separation, see if I can find something here.
do you respect freedom of rights of speech? I'm asking because I'm in Vancouver. This is the rules of speech. Where? If you can tell me, I would gladly go. I would gladly go to any beach. Let's move on. You tell me what?
Speed.
Yeah.
What does it say on the stern?
Last night, chance.
Luna, Nueva.
Way on the other side of the beach. The reason why I came to this side of the beach was because
Smooth style, gentlemen. Goes from first quarter to full, then three quarters to...
I'm a black man. How am I supporting white supremacy?
This means level. Come on.
You were so bothered by my costume that you...
What was that? What? Do what you just did again. There you go. Well, that's a sound that doesn't belong in a boat. Holes like that take a lot of work to build.
There's only one reason to build a hole like that, my friend, and that is to stash your stash. You can run with at least 500 keys in there.
It's like Capone's vault, empty.
Your eyes talking.
You got something.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Why fill in the number? Why not just sand it all the way down?
I don't know. Maybe it's a guy thing.
What? Go add on or cover up that they won't
Today, from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's Week 5 of the NFL on EA Sports.
So the LA Rams with a victory here, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
Aaron Rodgers versus
The Russians have been forever dumping their second-rate surplus on their island friends, and in this case, we're talking about Cuba.
This girl's been shot in the leg. Very close to the femoral artery. Bled out. You know, bleeder? See next one? No. Tied tight. We tried to save her. Injury like this Richard would have been dead in like 30 minutes. There's no evidence of sunburn or exposure.
Tonight, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it's time for Monday Night Football on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Tonight, we finish off Week 6 with a good Monday nighter between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants, and maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
And on the road. How about all of that rolled up into one? Because how often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin?
Yeah, they thumped them.
Yeah, they jumped all over them. In a division game,
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Well, actually, senor, we're crime scene investigators. And I'd like to show you something to see if it has any meaning to you.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Today, from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, it's Week 7 of the NFL on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. That's complete to John Ross. The 30, past the 20, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. John Ross, his first touchdown on the year. And the Ravens have cut it to within a score. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the...
Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, tried to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for...
She was worried we wouldn't be able to keep up. Of course we can. What couldn't keep up was our barn.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
What did James go? 5 games. Doing no 5 games.
Tonight, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Scoring, there's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams faced to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Giants, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll have another home date next week as the Miami Dolphins come to town. Meanwhile, for New England, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.
choices of a synthetic-based material. Not a match to her clothing. It's that choice.
Got it.
She has significant levels of albuterol in her system.
She was asthmatic at the time of the inhaler on the boat.
My guess? Bronchospasms triggered by some kind of stress?
My guess is she over-medicated.
Her heart went into dysrhythm. A condition that doesn't go well with the separate from water. And the tourniquet didn't buy a lot of time.
Okay. Good. Come on in.
You gotta give me the name of your decorator.
Well, it's just a phone in the desk when we went out in the field.
Any word on the captain?
The detectives still have it. We're waiting. What do you got?
DNA results from the skin cells we collected off Elena DeSoto's rope. Somebody else tied that tourniquet.
Well, we knew that.
No, we know that now. There's significant commonality in the markers.
Think it's a family member?
Maybe the guy in the back bedroom.
What about a first cousin?
Closer. I'm thinking brother.
Hey, Callie. Listen, I was wondering if maybe I could crash at your place. I'm trying to keep a low profile, and H has been stirring up the neighborhood.
You know how he is. He's like a dog with a bone.
Yeah, well, he needs to learn how to let go. Because this girl's family doesn't care about somebody.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports. As we'll see Aaron Rodgers and the New York Giants taking on Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants. It's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Giants, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington.
deals got a tourniquet. Tell us someone closely related to her.
Someone closely related, like her brother Pedro, could have tied that tourniquet.
Close relatives travel together. A DNA match makes him a material witness.
And that is a mark we can get.
Hey.
Only place in the country you have to negotiate with the community before you serve the warrant.
That's it.
Hola, Pedro. Yo me llamo de Sevilla. Y estos señores aquí van a revisar su cuarto, por favor. Acompáñame. Just ask for a swap.
Well, we made it to another Halloween without getting eaten. Miss you, close one.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Ooh, feel that chill?
I don't feel anything. This can't be true.
Going from a 1-hour commute to an 11-minute commute, it's a life changer. And as a trans female, I have to worry about my personal safety.
Personal safety from who exactly?
The Calm Scent of Lavender by Downy Infusions Calm. Laundry isn't done until it's done with Downy. Ever since I got this haircut,
We're at the half.
my nose was constantly
We're at the halfway
blowing
mark.
his hair.
And
I got my claws on
oh,
Silver Sleeper. It's a game changer. These heavy-duty dry claws pick up a crazy amount of hair. This is all you. We stopped cleaning and started slippery.
Hey there, I'm Aisha, and my favorite thing about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is how easy you can share them with your friends. They taste fresh, they
he'll be
taste
back
good, you can
next
taste
week.
that every single one is
The
unique.
Giants
Top
get
tier, best chicken nuggets ever.
Also,
You
he'll be
guys
back
should put that
in
in the
1 week.
commercial.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and the only thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is you can get the different types of cheeses in the blender, and everything just comes together. It's like a delicate dance.
leasing that can achieve. Get 0% APR for up to 72 months on all new 2020 Infinity models.
We'd love some help with laundry. Here's how you do it. Spray and scrub anything with a stain. Soak your nasty jersey. It stinks. Wash the really dirty clothes separately. Remember, hard work builds character.
Tide Pods with upgraded forward.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
But you didn't fold. That wasn't in the note.
Should have sent a text. Number one stain and odor fighter. Number one trusted. It's got to be Tide.
Detective out of rental truck and the captain of Miami International. They're both in custody. Yes, sir. I will, sir.
Coke wrapping must have picked up some blood when it was being loaded off of the boat.
College theory, primary transport.
Kind of like going to the bathroom. You never wipe enough.
Like that tone.
That's pretty prominent on the 45. It's the source of all three bullets.
Okay.
Doesn't that mean we have the guy?
You tell me. Make a run for freedom. Shoot your sister along the way, and then you try to save her life.
See, this is why I like ballistics. It's an exact science.
Just takes a sec. Software digitizes the diluted ink pattern. And the algorithm
Extrapolates a reversal probability, estimating an image of the original writing. NM28-30. But does it crack the code?
it just gives you the puzzle, it doesn't solve it.
Gotta crack the code.
You know when after stealing.
Okay, Masa.
Why start shooting?
Stay with me for a minute. We cataloged all the personal property on this boat. The shoes, the hairbrushes, the glasses, the clothing. We have evidence that at least 12 people on this boat could have been there.
We do know about ex-Captain Bob, Elena, Pedro, John Doe, unidentified male gunshot victim. Anybody else would have drowned in the Gulf Stream, never to be seen again.
Average 150 pounds per person. That's 1,800 pounds on her stern.
1,000 pounds of coke in a black hole.
This boat's center of gravity is way off.
7-foot seas, taking on water under fish loads. That would panic the captain.
Today, from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's Week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Captain Bob, are you aware that it was a crime in the state of Florida to build a secret compartment in a boat or a car, even if the compartment is empty?
What's the fine?
For trafficking?
I don't know the words to that song you want me to
You
sing.
want a gun?
Yeah. Where is your gun?
Someone stole it off my boat a couple months ago.
We have your gun.
because it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
As an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Baltimore, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll get another home date next week as the 49ers will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they'll fall to 5-3 with a loss. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.
Are you going to rebut everything I'm saying? Yes. Excellent. Pedro. You know what that is, don't you? Now, it was never door-to-door service. Pedro, the way it works is you get dropped off as soon as you see the lights of Miami. But that night there was a storm, wasn't there? And the captain's boat was taking on water. He took out a gun and ordered everybody off. You refused, and he started shooting.
I am taking my client out of this room until there's a formal investigation in place.
Whatever you want. Pedro. I know that you tried to save your sister's life. I know you took the rope out of the inner tube and made the tourniquet, but it didn't work, and she bled to death before she got ashore. Isn't that true?
That's it. We're leaving.
No. We are not leaving.
Why?
We were floating in the water for hours. Then we saw the boat.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Coast Guard.
I wanted to get her on that boat. Your law says
Tonight, from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
They love their crab cakes and they love their football. That's what Maryland does. And we are at M&T Bank Stadium down near the inner harbor of Baltimore. Tonight, it's a good Week 9 matchup here on a Monday night between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Ravens, the win means they'll finish the first half at a respectable 5-3. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Today, from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Offensive explosion help leading them to victory, and the defensive guys are just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Baltimore, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.
The Giants keep up their winning ways and keep winning and keep winning and keep winning, keep winning, keep winning.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports.
We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Giants, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington.
court's job to make policy. Like, everybody's doing the wrong thing. Like, of course, Supreme Court and judges is not a place to make your laws. That's your job. You can't do it. That's too bad. Like, when the lawmakers, current Democratic lawmakers, trying to subvert the system. They make the court do their work for them, so they don't have to do it.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 11 of
The win streak going. We kept the win.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their...
Out for back to next week. The Giants have injuries. We make this probably like a separate video. I might play that.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
today. From CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington, it's Week 11 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Well, no trip to the Northwest would be complete without a little rain. To see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Ravens, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
prediction time. I don't think the Browns.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Tonight, from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, we write a finish to Week 12 with a good Monday night matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens.
Nobody can beat us. I think we lost 3 times only because we had our backups in. I don't think
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap.
Aaron Rodgers came on board. But this time, I think it's going to be definitely going on a winning streak. We're 8-2 versus their 2-8. You're looking to keep that winning streak alive today. Four. 8.
Today, from FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland,
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we
Transfer back to Alexandria. Go back to making that big money. back. Let me think of something. Let me think. We on a win streak. Go on the win streak. We on the win streak. We on the win streak. We haven't lost a game since we added Aaron Rodgers to starting lineup. We're not into. I think a couple more wins and we have the postseason locked up. A couple more wins. All we need to do in the next 2 games, go 11-2, and every postseason ultimate if we lose every game from here on out.
Today, from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, it's Week 13 of the NFL on E!
Seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and you look back over the score sheet. Interesting, a very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
And now, me and the Giants are gonna probably have the same record if we need. You can't both lose the same week. Okay, you can't.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Tonight, from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, it's Week 13 of the NFL on EA.
Oh my goodness.
To see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Tonight, from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens.
partner, was fun down to the very end. They got the points late, right before the whistle. Then the ensuing kickoff. They were hoping for magic on the other side, but couldn't get that. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
We got our shit broken by the stupid computer. You just got to come in here and beat the Cardinals. And that's what we're gonna do.
Tonight, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
It's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball.
I just see people out there who just go up off the mouth, don't even know what the freak they're talking about. State presidentials in that face of stupidity. In that face of stupidity. Yeah. Here we go. The one of the teams they had the best record in the league. Let's see if they worthy of that title of the best record. No, they're not. I don't know how they got. Well, actually, no, like they're not in one. They're actually two. They lost 2 games already.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 15 of the
victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well,
Very presidential. How we lose it to the Big Bengals? Like, okay, now just speaking blame. Sorry, they rapidly make my team play. Sorry, we're not losing this game. Team ass computer. Like, sometimes we gotta touchdown, Ravens. Sometimes I gotta interject. He bounced off everybody's chest. Goodness, over pursued. Dude. Goodness, can these people wide the fuck open? Some cheating that shit. He always cheats. Always fucking cheats. Like, leaving people wide the fuck open. Hungry. Tell you that they were cheating because first of all, we beat them the second time. Like first time. He'll be wide the fuck open in the middle of deep route play, even though he got coverage. Like makes no freaking sense. Why somebody be that open, even if it was a play action. But then again, they actually be GOAT. They actually boost be GOAT in this game for some reason. Apparently, they haven't fixed it. We have not. We're about to lose. No, they ain't gonna be. No. You turn around and Camp Show beating the Bills. Like, what the fuck? Flying bicycle sticks. Get to the end, they can't finish with the feet. Doing good this whole season. Here we go, touchdown. We tied the game. And it in a tie. 60-16. Go ahead, overtime. Go ahead. Goodness. They throw a quick pass. Oh, you ain't man wide the fuck open for you freaking bum ass niggas. Defense fucking sucks. Like, oh my goodness, what the? That's why I don't like playing with defense. Defense be linking when people don't know how to play. They play retarded when retarded when you don't want them to play retarded, but play good when you don't. When you want them to play good, don't want them to play. You need them to play. They don't play good when you need them to play good. bum ass niggas. Like, bums. Oh my goodness. Why we need to revamp our entire team. We need to improve our team. I forget I don't have an all-star team. Oh, I bet. I think it's the one where you're doing all the draft picks. We beat this team before. That's the point. They're not trying to get swept. I'm playing this game from here on out because I want to go 11-5. I'm not going 10-6. All we need to do, we don't necessarily come out with the win. We just need to come out not with just 7 points. We need to be 14-20 at least. 14-20. That way we get the ball back. We can get the score and get by 1.
Now a handoff for Lindsey. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Lindsey, the ball carrier.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 28. 22 yards there, a first down. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. No move for the field goal unit. They're going to go here with 5 seconds left. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he powers his way up past the 30.
The wide receiver.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
On 2nd down now, it's Lindsey. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
TJ Watt there.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Give him 6 yards in the first down.
Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a first. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup.
That is definitely what we call on defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Another run by Lindsey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give them 14 on that one, and a first down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through and picking up first downs.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6. And that'll be caught. Touchdown Ravens. It's Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens have cut it to within a score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken just shy of the 10.
What's the deal, y'all?
So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
On first down, Nicholson. Johnson with a completion over the middle.
Nicholson's pass.
Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
On the pickup.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. Operating from the gun. Nicholson gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. Nicholson. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on third? They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Give them the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
A gain of 5.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the gun, Nicholson. Completion here to Claypool. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
Well, remember, they tried to give him the ball and let him run on the last play, but I think the light bulb went off in their play caller's mind, and this time they get it to him the more conventional way, and it's much more successful as well.
Connor on first down, able to take this one forward for about 6.
Steeler ball carrier. He was tackled at the 46.
4 yards remain for second down. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Looking to throw on second down. Nicholson completing it to the right side. Johnson. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 35. 11 yards there. First down.
First down, Steelers.
Throwing on first down. Nicholson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. On the handoff, Connor. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
He's tackled at the 29-yard line. A gain of 6 yards.
The Steelers on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Nicholson. He's got a man. It's Williams. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. From the gun, Nicholson. Oh, no, he lost the football. But it looked like the Steelers were able to recover, and they will indeed hold on to the ball. Able to fall on it, but look where they recovered it. That's a big loss.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Operating from the gun. Nicholson. Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. John Ross with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from taking the lead.
Justin Tucker.
And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
He went all the way into the end zone.
Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. A fairly short kick from the 14. Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
A 3-yard pickup.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. From the gun, Nicholson able to hit his target, Claypool. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. He's going to dump this off to his running back, Hunt. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. And 2 big plays, one after the other. Now all of a sudden, they're on the march.
Got to feel good about what they've just gotten done, and now feel really good about what's in front of them.
He was covered.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's a handoff to Connor. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Boswell's kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute.
21.
All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
At their own 20.
Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down by 2, 50 seconds to go. Open man is Ross, complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Flushed out right. He'll try and run it. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
At the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 7.
Throwing now is Jackson.
Second and 3.
He's going to let it fly. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. This is caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. John Ross with time running out, and the Ravens have retaken the lead.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. Oh, good-looking return set up here. And up past the 35, a very good return, but a penalty down. That may negate all the good work. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. And that often runs you into a penalty.
Now a desperation throw deep down. He's got him in. Complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. One final shot. They'll look to throw. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
Ravens 28.
Well, Charles, a pretty exhilarating finish to the end of this ball game. At the end, the Hail Mary prayers, though, they went unanswered. Could have won it, but couldn't get it done.
Almost felt schoolyard or playground, didn't it? You know, you remember when you called that play? Everybody just go long and try and find someone open. They gave it a shot, but unable to successfully complete it.
So for Baltimore, it's an 11th win of the year. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.